It appears as though Kevin Hunter's way of behaving changed from threatening to polarizing, and the man is essentially a threat to himself and everybody around him. His monetary hardships awakened a covetous beast inside him, and he attempts to crash all that he finds to get Wendy's cash. Even his fancy woman, Sharina Hudson Ward, is on the road that Kevin is even prepared to toss her out of his home, assuming this causes Wendy to pardon him and resume her provision installments. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live Station. I keep my eyes on the most shocking occasions in Broadway and continuously present to you the most sultry updates. So Kevin Hunter's desolation probably arrived at its pinnacle, now since this man needs to obliterate, as long as he can remember, only for a couple of additional millions from Wendy Williams. Rumors from far and wide suggest that Kevin attempts various strategies to figure out what deals with Wendy and wouldn't hesitate to forfeit his relationship with his Miss Serena Hudson, assuming it permits him to become rich and powerful again. Seems like this injury is not even close to its end, so assuming I were you, I would watch this video. Until the end, it's as of now not a mysterious that cashed is a genuine trigger for Kevin Hunter, since this man cannot return to his life until he gets the large numbers put away in his ex's record. I generally thought that he was only a shaky and envious man. Yet it seems like Kevin really accepts that Wendy Williams owes him a tremendous total. He can't fail to remember how she played him big time when she separated and terminated him from her show, simultaneously depicting his misfortunes to her columnist. Kevin said, "I got terminated from the board-served legal documents, and furthermore terminated from the show all around the same time that probably been a genuine disaster for his self-image." So the man was shamed, removed from the family house, and left without a task for a long time on the grounds that nobody sane needs to warmly greet the one who had betrayed his significant other for a very long time and spent her cash on his paramour's joys. I wagered Kevin realizes it too. That is the reason he continues onward for the main accessible type of revenue ache, Wendy's divorce settlement. And clearly he is prepared to forfeit his dearest escort Serena and trade his relationship with her for cash. Yet this may be one more coercion strategy of his, which he expectations will work. This man previously attempted a ton of puzzling techniques to extract additional coins from his ex. Everything began when he started crediting Serena for Wendy show's prosperity. I simply can't help thinking about which job Serena played in this. Was she remarkable in giving the back rub after the show? At any rate, Kevin acted completely rudely toward his ex by crediting the young lady who, as a matter of fact, demolished their marriage, thinking about that Wendy has forever been really steady of her significant other, and surprisingly, liberally paid them all support. Yet with time, clearly Kevin has no honor, and the greatest love of his life was neither Serena nor Wendy, yet a major heap of money. I bet he felt magnificent, residing off his better half for a really long time, and was past cheerful when she consented to send him month-to-month checks, which were all that could possibly be needed to support that lavish way of life. He became acclimated to yet his monetary fantasy immediately reached a conclusion when Wendy's bank, Wells Fargo, froze her resources and put her under monetary guardianship. Kevin was next to himself with outrage, since he had accepted that he and Wendy had an understanding, and she double-crossed him. How rapidly he overlooked his own treachery, which went on for quite some time. He prosecuted things and portrayed his burdens on various pages, and surprisingly featured the significance of the appointed authority's choice in support of himself. Anyway, no blissful end was hanging tight for Kevin, and he lost as the U.S. newspaper The Sun detailed the appointed authority, observed that Kevin's solicitation was not new, and requested his application to be excused without bias. The appointed authority likewise denied Kevin's solicitation for lawyer expenses to be paid by Wendy. That probably sabotaged Kevin's fearlessness. He never expected such a new development, since he was 100% certain that reality and equity were his ally. Evidently, it was the second when he lost it totally in light of the fact many that his way of behaving turned out to be absolutely unreasonable. And surprisingly, terrifying, he doesn't realize which move will work the best against his ex, and has a go at everything in the desire to succeed clearly. He is prepared to successfully get the cash, and he goes through days and evenings dealing with one more method for coercing additional money from his ex-fans, except that he has consistently thought often about his own well-charging and can deceive anybody assuming fundamental, including his flapjack sovereign, Sharina, one of my supporters, remarked he's accusing every other person, yet his self-moronic is what dumb does. And as I see many individuals begin to become weary of his plans and searching innovativeness, this is the way fans respond to his new statements. One individual composed simply one more plan by Kevin to get at Wendy's back. Kevin should be so ravenous, so cash that he is prepared for any final proposal from Wendy, even to leave Sharina and his girl. Yet you understand what everything seems like one major lie to me. And I surmise that Wendy likewise sees directly through this man. So regardless of whether he creeps back to her kneeling down and asks for pardoning, there is essentially zero possibility that she will at any point pay attention to his untruths. One thing's without a doubt, he has consistently placed his concerns and difficulties first, and has no regard for anybody except for himself, and assuming he previously had the nerve to toss conceal on Wendy by crediting his paramour in a public statement, who understands what he will truly do next, toss Sharina out for the opportunity to work with his ex again, appears as though individuals' lives and feeling for Kevin Hunter is only a game. This is just a single word that can portray his egotistical way of behaving, and it's insane. I mean, I can as of now make a rundown of his barbarities, and every one of them is sufficiently serious to make him pay Wendy an enormous pay first. He dismisses her addictions and their child's concerns with ousting men. He continues and openly embarrasses her for crediting Serena, then records a claim against Wendy and requests his purported half of all that they own, and even takes steps to release a few compromising recordings about his ex. And then again, he attempts to win her consideration and compassion for his phony conciliatory sentiments. Kevin's activities are truly startling right now, and I want to believe that he hurts no more himself or his new family. Everybody previously endured a ton in view of his controls, and most his ex and supplier Wendy Williams. I can't help thinking about what's going on inside his head when one day he hauls her to court, and on a day or two ago he begs her to give him a task on her new undertaking. I bet he feels no responsibility by any stretch of the imagination, and keeps on playing some sort of a game where his objective is Wendy's millions, yet his main accomplishment so far is transforming himself into a fool via web-based entertainment, and individuals couldn't actually see where his daringness and pride. And one individual remarked Kelvin was a fraud who lucked out that Wendy gave him a phony job and caused him to feel like he was something. I'm giggling at the way that this man claims he made Wendy, and as one of my supporters saw, it's the ideal opportunity for Kevin to surrender.